fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hey guys, how you going? How you going, Deb? Are you first or second? I can't see above now, I'm second. Kai, how you going? Out to lunch, how you going? Alex, how you going? Hang on, I'll get a bit closer, get a bit louder too. Oh, just jumped on me already. There you go. Shannon, how you going? Who else have we got in here? Sherry, how you going? Deb, Jay, how you going? MRH, how you going? Good to see ya. And I said hello, Kai, didn't I? Dealey. How you going, Dealey? Who else have we got? Is that it? Zal, how you going, Zal? Okay, I'll just get the screen up. Got a lot of news to go through. By the way, hang on. What's going on here? That's what happened. Everyone mentioned today is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And everything here is theory until proven fact, even if it is fact. Okay? Just so we got that out of the way. By the way, we have floods in North New South Wales, in the state that I live in. It's been raining for 4 days straight where I am, quite heavily too. So, yeah, people have lost their houses. A couple of people have lost their lives. And then it got really windy. I was a bit worried about the trees last night. Got big trees all around me. Okay, and after the rain, the ground's soggy and the wind could actually uproot trees easier. So there you go. So Oliver Pollock Kaiser said, I want you to really think about what I'm about to say. This is all theory, okay? Think logically, think critically. If Obama and Hillary had been arrested in 2017 or even 2020, this country would have burned. It would have made the summer of love look like a picnic. There would have been chaos, riots, blood in the streets, civil war, and even worse. We wouldn't know half of what we know about the deep state, the corruption, the treason, the evil that lives in the belly of the swamp. Fast forward to now, New York City, the epicentre, where all the bad actors live, own and play. Right here, front and centre, one of the biggest trials in modern day history, not just any case, a collapse of music mogul, drugs, arson, kidnapping, sex trafficking, extortion, attempted murder, and even murder for hire. The Diddy trial. As it all unfolds, we're here for it. The celebrities, the politicians, the elites, all tied to the freak-offs. All in the red rooms, all on tape, from Harlem to the Bronx, from the hood to Hollywood. People are watching, waiting. The word is out, Diddy is done, and he's taking them down with him. Big names, bigger secrets, even Obama. And when it all comes out, when the world finally sees them for what they are, it won't just be MAGA patriots calling for justice. It'll be the Black and Latino communities, who are the ones who once worshipped Obama, the ones who were lied to, used and even sacrificed. They'll be the ones screaming for his arrest. This is how you flip the script. That's how you shake the system without firing a single shot. Think about it. It had to happen this way. They will fight, but you are ready. MAGA, they never saw it coming. Yes, because the plan, look, there is a plan, right? And Trump is letting it play out. Just let me clean my glasses. They're a bit fuzzy here. Yeah, it's being played out in front of us because people can't be told. They have to be shown. And I'll keep saying that, but it's true. That's what we're seeing all over the place. Okay. Hopefully they're cleaner. I'll bet, yeah. Dom Luca said when they were done with Diddy, they will remove their next puppet that has their secrets. I don't think anyone's ready for what's coming. Who do you think the next one will be? Do you think it'll be Obama? Oh, dear. I think he needs some water or something. They look very dry and cracked lips. I don't know. It's just very, very, very big close-up. I thought I was having a big close-up. The opinionated black woman auntie here in Australia, all of the floodwater could be diverted to other states quite easily, but our governments, be they Labor or Liberal, have refused to build the infrastructure, and you've got to ask yourself, why? Because they're too busy spending the money. And Albanese, instead of our Prime Minister, instead of visiting the flood area, he's there now, but he was overseas. Yep. That is Airbus Albo. This is our Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese. The SES don't ask for praise, but they deserve it. They've been on the ground in New South Wales through rising water, making sure communities have the support and information they need. In the worst of times, we see the very best of the Australian character. Today, I visited New South Wales SES in Maitland for a briefing and to say thank you. Conditions are still dangerous and changing. You can stay up to date with warnings using the Hazards Near Me app. Oh, they got another one. So they've got fires near me. Now they've got hazards near me, have they? Or is it the same thing? And I urge everyone to follow advice. Tragically, 4 people have lost their lives now in these devastating floods. My heart's with the families and communities impacted. Australia will continue to stand with you every step of the way, and he goes there for a photo op. What are people saying in the comments? I think that's why Grok, what do you think Albo's thinking? It's hard to know exactly what Anthony Albanese is thinking, probably not at all. But his actions suggest a focus on supporting flood-affected communities. Yeah, Grok, sure. Standing on the shoulders of giants again while making sure a photographer is close at hand. Meanwhile, your friend Jacinta Allen MP is gutting the SES in Victoria to try and raise money to fund her corrupt regime. What the fuck is the point of Elmer getting in everyone's way at a natural disaster centre? Labor's a joke. Oh, my God. Yeah, so he did turn up in the end. The rubber duck, here in Australia still, I believe the reason we're not seeing any of the expected public data dumps, unsealing of indictments, arrests, etc., is due to one reason, and I don't believe it's the individuals on these lists at all. We all knew who they were a long time ago. I believe it's because the masses do not see or understand that the state of Israel is and always was the enemy of the people. Humanity is the head of the snake, and it was of people, humanity. It's the head of the snake, and it was saved for last for a specific reason. I believe the stage is set for an Israel boomerang, bigly. But even though we know that they are a big part of this, I'm still not with Palestine. I don't stand with Palestine either. Old Soldier said we had a chance to accept South African farmers as refugees here in Australia, but our gutless politicians are too scared to be called racists. Azat said a halal butcher in Zurich, Switzerland has sold 3.1 tonnes of pork labelled as veal to Muslim customers who haven't noticed any difference for 3 years. Whoops. So they haven't noticed, have they? That was a halal butcher in Zurich. He's been feeding pork to Muslims as veal. Gunther Eagleman asked, are transgenders mentally ill? Wall Street Mav said Peru. Peru officially classifies transgender people as mentally ill. Did anyone think any different? Melinda Richards said, quick question. Has Peter Garrett from Midnight Oil, that was a 80s band here in Australia, and they were very activist-y back then. Has Peter Garrett from Midnight Oil given his land back to the Aboriginals yet? He also became a politician after the band broke up. So, yeah, they always have been activists. Peter Garrett has been. So it doesn't surprise me. But I'm wondering, yeah, well, this person's asking, has he given his land back to the Aboriginals? We want to know. Has Albo? Has any of Labor or the Greens? Are they giving their properties to the Aboriginals? You know, the extra properties they own? Interesting. Dr. Monique Ryan, last year, Japan resold at least 11. I've heard this before. Now, I don't like her. But apparently, you know what Japan's been doing? They've been buying our gas cheaper than we buy it for from our own country. Okay, and because they can buy so much of it, they've been on-selling it at a higher price to other countries, making money from Australian gas. And yet we can't. And we get charged through the nose for it. Yeah, we should be building nuclear and coal. And keeping the gas to ourselves. That's another one I'm not going to like either. I didn't like, oh God, please don't tell me I didn't like elbows, did I? Nope, good. I better take it off there in case I think, I haven't liked that one. Okay. Where was I up to? Here we go. Australians versus the agenda. Victorian Premier Jacinta Allen has condemned the person responsible for leaving a box of cow manure in her office, calling it a disgraceful act. She's very upset because the farmers dumped shit out the front of her office and someone probably leaving a box of cow manure in her office. Okay. Wake Up America said, breaking, American actress Angelina Jolie says Trump's actions make her very angry and very sick. What's your response? I got one. Retard Finder said, found one. I actually got that right this time, look. In a row. You don't have to wait till the end of the stream to find out. Dan Bongino. Always speak the truth and you'll never be burdened by the pressure of having to remember your web of lies. Yeah, well, I'm a bit sus here, mate. What briefing did you receive that made you change? This is Luke Radowski. What briefing did you receive that made you change your opinion on two of the most important issues of our time? Who was the briefing by, and can you share the information that made you change your mind? And I believe what that is referring to is the Epstein thing. Anyway, look, if you are going to lie, you want to have a really good memory, okay? I've got an absolute memory, so I have trouble lying because you'd know straight away. I don't even know if I want to like that one. Like, I do because of what he said, but I don't know. What's going on here? Should I? Shouldn't I? I'm going to leave it for now. And Wokeness said 6 congressmen recently died in office. Rep Connolly, a Democrat, May 21st, 2025. Rep Gridjalva, Democrat, March 13th, 2025. Rep Turner, Democrat, March 5th, 2025. Rep Pascrell, Democrat, August 21, 2024. Rep Jackson Lee, Democrat, July 19th, 2024. And Rep Payne Jr., Democrat, April 24, 24. What do they all have in common? They're all Democrats. I wonder if, you know what they did to Joe Biden? You know, I kind of wonder about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. You know, when she was on a deathbed and they had her signing things, and I wonder how much of that they actually do and use people for. Eric St. Pierre said, is it worth giving up Canadian sovereignty for a 60% cut in taxes? I don't know, it's for the Canadians to answer. Do we have any in here? Where's Menacing Muskrat? The opinionated black woman auntie said, just when you think that smug, arrogant bastard Albo couldn't get any worse, he lands to the awaiting press, blows his own trumpet, runs down the Liberals to his swooning press gallery and tells them how he's going to take a few days off. Didn't he just have a few days off? Not one, not Albo, not the press, not one. None of them mentioned the devastating goings-on in Taree. West Taree is completely underwater. You can't even see the roofs of the houses, and there's more water coming. A picture says 1,000 words. I'm thinking of you all up there. Yeah, all of us Aussies are. Apparently cows have been swept out in the ocean. I actually watched a video this morning where a guy's house was underwater, and it was in his house. And you know what was really heartwarming? Was to see in the comments the amount of people just donating to help them out. That was just, I was like, oh, that's so good. And that's what they need right now. I don't know. I mean, the guy's insurance, I think, was paying him out, but people were donating left, right and centre because they couldn't even stay in their home, you know? And they were showing everybody that them emptying the house out and everything and where the water was, and when their electricity went off because it started flooding in the house. Mark PG said Susan Ley is taking advice from Turnbull. The Liberal Party is finished in this country. Definitely. If she's taking advice from Turnbull, he is just one of the worst politicians we ever had. And now just for something different, it's not really news, but, you know, you never know, it might be. True Blue Rebel said, watched this movie last night on Amazon Prime called Another Simple Favour. What I thought would be a fun chick flick turned out to be a soft launch for incest. What the actual is going on in the world, and why does this movie not have any warnings? Blake Lively making out with her sister, who is also her twin, is freaking disgusting. Thank you, because I will not watch that movie now. It's called Another Simple Favour. What is Hollywood trying to do? Push this? Push incest? Push pedo? Push whatever, you know, trans? That's what they're trying to push. How many Hollywood stars, so they're called, have trans kids? It's a trend. Rob Smith said any night has been, I think some of the adults, so the parents, have mental illness. That's what I think. Rob Smith said Annie Knight has been admitted to hospital after a challenge during which she slept with 583 men in a single day. Sorry, I'm trying not to throw up. But the thought even, oh my God, the 27-year-old OnlyFans star, dubbed Australia's most sexually active woman, shared a video from a hospital bed on Wednesday after rushing in to be treated for cramps and excessive bleeding, just days after taking part in the filmed orgy on Sunday. Meanwhile, people with actual illness through no fault of their own sit in the waiting room waiting for a bed. Being hospitalised after taking 583 men in a day was not on my 2025 bingo card. I bet it wasn't. What's happening with the world? Why is it oh my God. I don't know. I think she'd be blown out front, back, every which way she could. I don't know. Why was she bleeding? Why did she have cramps? Why did she sleep with 583 men in one day? I mean, even two in the space of 6 months, two different, might be a bit, I don't know. Oh, you want to wait? I don't know. Oh, I can't even. I just can't. I don't know what's happening with the world. It's going upside down, inside out, and this stuff is... And you know what? The mainstream TV is pushing this shit. I'm sure they want all the women to be, open and out there so that when the Muslim men come in and attack women, it doesn't, it's not considered to be that at all. Nigel Farage, MP, said despite the Chagos Islanders winning a High Court injunction to prevent the giving away of islands, the government will seek to overturn this. Why is Starmer so desperate to give away the islands? There's no legal need. It'll cost us approximately £52 billion and play right into the hands of China. Why? Because China owns them all? They're working for China? I don't know. Okay. In Division says Susan B. Anthony. Are we sure it's not Anthony B. Susan? Could Anthony be Susan? I don't know. Just doesn't really look like a woman at all. Damn, they even told us Susan B. Anthony. Oh, no. Yep, that's about, yep. It's about right. Wow. How many of them are actually out there that we didn't know from years and years ago too? It's not just recently. It's been going on for many, many years. Aussie B said, remember, it's for your safety. Fines and penalties increase for common offences. The fines and penalty structure has also seen a revision. New tiered penalties will be introduced based on repeat offences and risk categories. Here's a quick comparison of how key fines are changing. Using your mobile phone while driving, the current fine is $496, but from July 2025, which is a couple of months away, it's going to be $1,050. More than double. Offence, not wearing a seatbelt. It's going from $298 to $700. Driving 10 to 20 kilometres over the speed limit is going from $276 to $520. Wow. For the minimum ones like this, driving 10 to 20 k's over the speed limits, not even doubling, but not wearing a seatbelt is more than doubling, and using a mobile phone while driving is more than doubling. This is revenue raising. This does not help. Look, it doesn't help anyone. Same as the speed cameras everywhere. Data Republicans said we're not broke because of math, we're broke because of corruption. This week, Elon Musk declared his intent to step away from politics, citing he's done enough and sees no reason to spend his money on politics. This has fired off a lot of speculation. I haven't commented on the big, beautiful bill until now, mostly because I think both sides are right. It's not enough, but it's also the best we're going to get for a long while. And that's the crux of the problem. The most responsible plan anyone can come up with still adds trillions to our debt, just at a slightly slower rate. That's the hard truth. Even when the most disruptive leader in modern history, this is where we landed. Yeah, that might happen, but wouldn't it over time go back down again as you start manufacturing and producing American-made goods, wouldn't it? I mean, I'm no economist. I've got no idea, really. But I'm asking you guys. Over the years, wouldn't that come down very quickly because of your manufacturing and you're making money for your country? Okay. Interest rates are creeping up again after Moody's downgrade. Mortgage rates top 7% and 30-year treasuries crossed 5%. In 2023, we collected just under $2.2 trillion in federal income taxes at 5%. Debt interest alone eats up 80% of that. What's left barely covers anything, and the rest of our revenue sources, mostly payroll taxes locked up in programs, we can't touch. We're out of money, we're out of time, and still we act like it's not a problem. Oh, don't forget there's a financial collapse coming. I'm not saying this to sound hopeless, but we have to face the truth. This is happening because of a culture of corruption. Both parties know where the fat is, but even the ones who campaign on responsibility won't touch foreign aid, defence waste or pet projects. They'd rather swing at Medicaid. It isn't a math problem, it's a cultural one. So that's where my focus is going. Who benefits, who protects them, who looks the other way? Because we don't fix this by balancing a budget. We fix it by telling the truth loudly and clearly until the rot has nowhere left to hide. Al Capone didn't fall because the system held him accountable. He fell because someone followed the money. I'm going to keep doing that. There you go. Make of that what you will, but look, the financial system's going to collapse. There's no way around it. As far as I know. Big Fish said this turned out to be true. Anita Dunn is now being investigated by Ed Martin for profiteering on her AutoPen pardoning authority. Who's this?
I can't stress enough how high up Anita Dunn was. She was basically part of the Council of Presidents. Dave, we didn't have a president in the
Right.
We had a council of these unelected people that you've never even heard of. And they're Anita Dunn, Mike Donnellan, and Steve Ricchetti. 3 of them were running the country. Most Americans, I would say maybe like 1%, if that, have heard of them.
Wow. I've never heard of Anita Dunn. Wow. So is she the one who was pardoning people? Anyway, let's keep going. Rep. Anna Paulina Luna said based on new evidence presented during yesterday's JFK hearing, it's becoming increasingly clear that the elements within our government have been blocking the release of truth pertaining to the assassination of President Kennedy. For the past 62 years, the CIA has actively and continuously obstructed the investigation of the assassination of President JFK with no consequences. Mr. Hardway, FRM Select Committee on Assassinations. Wow. I like their names, Mr. Hardway. Doing it the hard way? I don't know, sorry, I'm not making fun of people. I just find it funny, some of these names that we're seeing. That's why it keeps making me think, we're watching a movie. What's going on here? Unmasking mainstream media said I'm an Aussie, so I can say this. Aussies are so disappointing beyond the 90s. When Djokovic was deported for not getting the jab, most said we had to get it, so does he. Not why is anyone forced to give up inalienable rights in the first place. That explains everything. Yeah, when Australians were behind kicking him out because he was not vaxxed is ridiculous because Aussies used to be laid back, easygoing. Don't know what happened. Rational Aussie said taxing unrealised gains is an attack against the sovereignty of Australians. The money doesn't exist, it's simply theft. And it is, because that's what they're thinking. Taxing unrealised gains. It'll eventually hit your house. So if your house goes from, say, you bought it at $30,000 in the 70s and it's worth over $1 million, you'll be paying tax on that. Retards Down Under said if you think not being able to own a gun in Australia for self-defence is a good thing, you're effing retarded. Yeah. If you think not being able to own a gun in Australia for self-defence is a good thing, that's really... Hello? First thing they do before you get a tyrannical government is remove the guns. Okay, then Donald J. Trump has posted this. I don't know if there's any music behind it, but let's just watch. He's playing golf. And he hits Bruce Springsteen, who falls over, because apparently Bruce Springsteen fell over at one of his concerts. Karma, much? Ian Miles Chong said Homeland Security has completely revoked Harvard University's student exchange program for allowing jihadism to thrive on campus. Every foreign exchange student who is studying there for valid reasons, which is most of them, will have to return home. Terrible. This administration is holding Harvard accountable for fostering violence, anti-Semitism and coordinating with Chinese Communist Party on its campus. It's a privilege, not a right, for universities to enrol foreign students and benefit from their higher tuition payments to help pad their multi-billion-dollar endowments. Harvard had plenty of opportunity to do the right thing. It refused. They've lost their student and exchange visitor program certification as a result of their failure to adhere to the law. Let this serve as a warning to all universities and academic institutions across the country. Secretary Kristi Noem, US Department of Homeland Security. Well done. And oh God. Mossimo said, how is it possible for someone who wasn't born in Australia to be allowed into Australian Parliament? This policy needs to be reconsidered. Only individuals born in Australia should be eligible for political positions. And I agree. This is a Chinese infiltrator. That's my opinion only. I don't know if it's true. But I think that she works for the CCP. She, he, I don't know anymore. David Christofouli was surprising. New youth offenders now face tough consequences for 33 offences under adult crime, adult time. You do adult crime as a child, you do the adult time. That's how it should be. If someone 14 years old goes and murders someone, held accountable just like an adult, mate. Sorry. That's how it is. Q-Mum said it's wild, people can't see it. How many Bidens has there been? This is another thing I've been wondering about. Why so many over the years? Has it been a puppet show all along and there's a certain group running everything? Really makes you think, doesn't it? That's a lot of different Bidens, man. Come on, man. Which one is the real one? Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up. Will the real Joe Biden please stand up? Oh, my God. George Christensen said, exclusive, WHO pandemic treaty update via Citizen Go's global campaigner, Lokomsky Sabito. The treaty was adopted late last night in secret, no warning, no public schedule, just a backroom vote. Rammed through after hours, classic globalist move. Here's what happened. The vote at the World Health Assembly was 124 in favour, 0 against, 11 abstained, many absent or ineligible, including the US and Argentina. You're lucky. These 11 nations refused to support the treaty. Israel, Iran, Italy, Poland, Slovakia, Jamaica, Ukraine, Guatemala, Russia, Bulgaria, and Paraguay. Let that sink in. Not a single nation voted no, but 11 countries stood firm by refusing to participate or abstaining. They didn't play along. That's significant. Australia did. Then today, the World Health Assembly plenary rubber-stamped it. No debate, no warning. Just a smug consensus. The WHO thinks it scored a win, but here's the truth. Bad news. Yes, the pandemic treaty was adopted. Yes, it was rushed, chaotic and hidden from public view. Yes, it stinks of corruption. Good news? It's not over. The treaty can't take effect yet. It's incomplete and one of its most dangerous elements is still unresolved. What's missing? The PABS system, pathogen access and benefit sharing. That's the clause that would let Big Pharma get their hands on your country's virus samples and data. That clause is still under negotiation till 2026. The treaty itself says it cannot enter into force until all articles and annexes are agreed. That means no PABS equals no treaty. So while the media runs victory laps for the WHO, here's what they're not telling you. The treaty is incomplete, the timeline has shifted, the fight is far from over. What happened was shady but exposed. Their process violated the WHO's own constitution. They know it, we know it, the world is watching. Even more, thanks to the pressure from nations and activists, key changes were forced into the treaty draft. Censorship clauses weakened, enforcement language softened, sovereignty issues delayed. That's a win. Not a full one, but a clear sign that resistance works. We fought back and they had to back down in places. To the fake news media, you won't gaslight us into thinking this was transparent. It wasn't. You won't spin it as consensus. It wasn't. You won't call this global democracy. It was global deceit. To the WHO, you try to sneak it past the world, but people are awake now, and we're only just getting started. There's a new phase of the battle. We're regrouping, we're aligning on next steps, and we're going to fight this treaty at every level, local, national and international. What happened was outrageous, but it's also proof of something powerful. They're scared. Of scrutiny, of sunlight, of people saying no. That's why they moved in the dark. We exposed them, we slowed them, and now we fight again. Join us in that fight at citizengo.org and share this thread. This is far from over. There you go. So that was an interesting... I'm going to share that one. Okay, Oz Integrity said breaking for the second time. Queensland Premier Christopher Lee has slammed the United Nations for trying to interfere in Queensland policies and laws. Thank you, Premier. This is how Australia must treat globalists. Slam the doors in their faces. Australia first. And what's he saying? Let's have a listen.
Here's my message to the United Nations. You don't control me and I don't answer to you. I answer to Queenslanders. I answer to a whole heap of those people back there who've had their lives turned apart. And I say to the United Nations, we make laws to deal with one of the biggest issues this state has ever faced. And it's a generation of repeat hardcore young offenders who were created by weaker laws. So I say to the United Nations, you focus on the things you control and I'll look after the things that I control. And I'm accountable to Queenslanders, not to the United Nations. Here's my message to...
Well said, mate. Surprised me. David Christopher Lee, standing up for Queensland. Okay, we've got something strange going on with the Canadian politicians and the Australian politicians and a few other politicians. Ariel, 51st state, Canadians might as well get ready to be US citizens. Google is already changing your location from Canada to US permanently without announcing anything to you, which means preparations are already underway to make this official in the future. Resisting is futile. Can anyone in Canada confirm for me? Is Google changing your location from Canada to the US? Dan Illick said Northern Rivers, New South Wales is having a 1 in 500 year flood every 2 years now. Don't believe them when they tell you it's a 1 in 100 year or 1 in 500 years. Can happen any time. It's a good idea not to build on floodplains. Lozzie B said the sleeping lions in Victoria have awakened. Victorians are finally becoming aware of the fact that Vic Labor is nothing but an organised criminal, parasitical government that leeches off its citizens for its own greedy self-interests. Battle lines have been drawn today. For the first time in a decade, there may be hope for our state after all. That's a lot of people. Well done, Victoria. Keep standing up. Keep pushing back, that's all. Kip Herridge says no one likes the idea of adding $4 to $5 trillion to our national debt, but the pro-growth provisions of Trump's budget and tax bill will, without question, turbocharge the US economy. That's what I thought. 4 to 5% GDP growth in Q4 and into 2026 is likely at this point, with a stock market that booms. Like Reagan, Trump knows what the best way to empower the American entrepreneur is to simply get out of the way. Trump and Bessent intend to grow our way out of our problems. Again, the Reagan way. That's why I didn't take too much stock in that conservative data thing, because they know what they're doing. Dom Luker, breaker of narratives, said, breaking, New York Fire Department is investigating this deadly ladder collapse during a Brooklyn fire rescue. Ashik Hussain, a 53-year-old Pakistani immigrant, fell from a second-floor window while fleeing a fire. The ladder gave way, leading to fatal head injury on the pavement. Hussain succumbed to his injuries in the hospital. I don't know, this is New York. Are New York still funding their fire department, or have they stopped funding their fire department? Like upgrades on ladders and things. I don't know. I'm asking. It's just a question. Because you know New York's very corrupt. Like California. Watch New York, watch California. And we know, said Boom. Dinesh D'Souza said DA Fannie Willis found guilty, ordered to pay a massive fine to President Trump. She should have to pay this sham case she brought against President Trump instead of taxpayers paying for her lies and sham. She should have to pay the whole lot back, anything she took. Charlie Kirk commentary says, Boom, Trump immediately suspends Harvard University's ability to enrol international students, Tongue-tied and twisted. Just an earthbound misfit, I. That's a song, by the way. XRP Chancellor said, Boom, waking up to trillions flowing into RLUSD and XRP overnight. Talk about a boom, the future is bright and it's just getting started. Well, since then it's gone, okay, that's how it goes. You got to sit on it and wait. Rapid Response 47 said the one big beautiful bill will move real GDP 4.2 to 5.2% higher over the next 4 years by preventing the Trump tax cuts from expiring and adding 100% expensing for equipment and factory construction along with further business tax cuts. This is the economic boom Americans voted for. And then this I just found interesting, the Nikon P1000, and this guy's bought a filter for it, and I'll let him tell you. Hang on, let me just turn the volume down, otherwise it's going to blow your ears off.
All right, here comes your Nikon P1000 sun test. Let's see what we can see at 93 million miles away. Man, y'all check out this raw power, dude. This thing is strong. You know what's weird? 93 million miles away, huh? This camera, man, this camera don't play them. Look at those sunspots. Now, I'm going to keep a real close eye on these sunspots because, you know, the sun's supposed to be rotating as they say, I believe. Am I right? And those sunspots are always in the same spot, allegedly, is what I've been told. So, we're going to look into it more and see what's going on with that. But, yeah, pretty much, man, just playing around with it. I put a different filter that I ordered for my, just for the sun, because you'll burn your sensor up with the P9000. You got to be careful, because it can see 93 million miles away, so you have to have, a good filter on it. I don't know, man, it's a lot of fun, though. It's definitely been well worth getting. See, I can zoom all the way in on the sunspots, but as you can see, they get a little bit, blurry, but I would highly recommend, if you get the chance to get one of these cameras, to get them, because now they're discontinued, so you know what that means.
I just found it interesting. I heard that about the P900, whatever it was. Was it 960? I don't know what it was. But anyway, yeah, I heard that about the last one. But he bought a special filter. And you know how the sun spots? Every time I see the sun and they show us the sun, they're always here. If the sun turns, why do we never see them anywhere but here? I don't know. I might be stupid, but anyway. Michael said, Boom. Let's have a listen. What's going on?
We don't have a race problem in this country. We have a problem race. And this has nothing to do with skin color. This has something to do with the behavior that is coming from a certain group of people, Black people, that is not okay. Let me be the one to break it to you. They're calling you the N-word and they're treating you like the N-word because you're acting like the N-word, okay? This is how you're acting, and even your own ancestor would be repulsed by your behavior. The disgusting behavior that is coming from you guys is absolutely repulsive, and I am so tired of seeing you guys come across my screen doing the most absolutely animalistic things possible. It is disgusting. And you don't want to talk about the facts. You don't want to talk about how we need to fix the households and how we need to pay attention to the children and how we need to do better for ourselves. You want to blame white people. Go figure. You guys are completely disgusting. And I promise I would die on my feet talking about this before I die on my knees serving the degenerate behavior that is coming out of the Black community. It is absolutely ridiculous. And of course, I have to do my disclaimer. You guys know I'm not talking about all Black people, but I am talking about the Black people that makes it harder for Black people like myself and good Black people that want to do good things in this country. I am talking about the degenerates. I'm talking about you guys.
You know what? After that chick slept with the 580 whatever men, I think we've got degenerates of all colours. But yeah, I do see a lot of weird Black people doing weird things, yes. But I also see a lot of white people doing weird shit. Okay, but yep, that's a message from her to the Black community. There you go. And I have seen it. I've seen what she's talking about. True Blue Rebels said, does anyone else feel like this topic was getting too much attention? And then boom, 2 Israelis killed, and that's all the news will cover from wall to wall. 1984 said, yeah, I'm sure this is organic. White genocide, 298,000 posts. And then, boom, 2 Israelis got killed. Then that was the trend, was it? That's how they cover things up. That's how they get from one, like, if organically that starts popping up, they will distract with something else to make sure that that does not trend. Biko Konstantinos said, is the COVID inspired house price boom finally over? House prices in the US are now starting to fall. Is that because your interest rates have gone up? I don't know. I'm asking. Charlie Kirk said boom. Doom? Not boom, not doom. Oh, my God, Hev. Get a grip on yourself. Okay. Charlie Kirk said, boom. John Deere just announced plans to invest over $20 billion to expand production and manufacturing capacity right here in America. There you go. Good stuff. Liz Crokin said, boom, Freddie P from Diddy's DA band says everyone knows about Pizzagate, and Justin Bieber has been sending messages. Freddie P from Diddy's former group, The Band, said in an interview on the Art of Dialogue show that everyone knows about Diddy and the pizza thing, and that Justin Bieber's been sending messages. If you look right now at Justin Bieber eating pizza, he's sending messages. Freddie P said everyone knows about Pizzagate. Freddie P is correct. See my thread below just how Justin's been exposing it for years. More and more people are gaining the courage to speak out about it. Drip, drip, flood. Okay, what I'm going to have to do is bookmark this then for the next video. Where'd it go? Okay, that will make sense then, why he's eating pizza. But I will do that on the next one. Okay, DC Drano was replying to Jesse Kelly. This is Anita Dunn. If you'd like to know why a career moderate like Joe Biden governed like Mayo and ripped this country apart for 4 years, it's because this person was actually making the decisions. A communist unchained. Anita? I don't know about that. Anyway, DC Drano said 100%. Her company SKDK got me kicked off Twitter 2 years ago. They worked with the CA Secretary of State, California Secretary of State, to file a complaint about me with Twitter for election misinformation. Then boom, banned. Wow. Lady? Very handsome lady we got there. Okay, Kim Ed just put this and boom, because I was searching, no, that was trending. Boom was trending. That's why there's all these things with boom in it. Okay, let me see. Might have to go down a bit on the volume. Let's have a listen.
Yamish, good to see you.
Hi, good. Thanks for taking the question. Sure. The president showed a video that he said showed more than 1,000 burial sites of white South Africans that he said were murdered. We know that that was not true and that the video wasn't showing that. So I wonder, why did the president choose to show that?
What's not true, Yamish?
It's not true that the video was showing a burial site. It is unsubstantiated that that's the case.
No, it is true that that video showed the crosses that represent.
What the president claimed.
The video showed images of crosses in South Africa about white farmers who have been killed and politically persecuted because of the color of their skin. And those crosses are representing their lives. Those crosses are representing their lives in the fact that they are now dead and their government did nothing about it. Are you disputing that there's no...
The fact that the video showed what the president claimed it showed, because it did not show that. But even more, what I'm asking you is who at the White House...
No, it did show that. It showed white crosses representing people who have perished because of racial persecution.
Verifies the videos that the president shows, and what protocols are in place when there's unsubstantiated information being put out for the world and world leaders to show?
Yamish, what's unsubstantiated about the video? The video shows crosses that represent the dead bodies of people who were racially persecuted by their government. In fact, the Associated Press, of all places, has a picture of that very monument, and the caption from the Associated Press is, "Each cross marks a white farmer who has been killed in a farm murder." So it is substantiated, not just by that video and the physical evidence that everybody saw on display in the Oval Office, but also by another outlet in this room, the Associated Press. So you should take it up with them if you believe the claim is unsubstantiated, and that's a ridiculous line of questioning. John, go ahead.
That was ridiculous. Insane. Okay, Mike Netter said US Senate votes to overturn California gas car ban in victory for consumers, manufacturers and energy security. Today, the United States Senate delivered a victory for American consumers, manufacturers and US energy security by voting to overturn the prior administration's EPA rule authorising California's gas car ban and preventing its spread across our country. Congress has made it clear that California regulators have no authority to dictate what cars Americans can buy or to ban internal combustion engine vehicles. President Trump can now deliver on a major part of his campaign promise to end EV mandates in the US. This is a massive win for consumers and working families all across the country. Give a shout out to Kevin Killy, CA, for this CA governor loses again and the people of California and the USA win. Thanks, Kevin. Okay, now the big, beautiful bill. Oh, how you going, MRE? How you feeling? Hope you're doing better. And Del, how you going? Eyes, how you going? Zal. Hurling insults. How you going? Conchega, how you going? Who else have I missed? Paul, how you going? George, how you going? Okay, I think I've got most people. Okay. Joe Rambo said, boom, this one big beautiful bill, let's go. Has passed the House of Representatives. This is arguably the most significant piece of legislation that will ever be signed in the history of our country. The bill includes massive tax cuts, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, tax deductions when you purchase American-made vehicle, along with strong border security measures, pay raises for our ICE and Border Patrol agents, funding for the Golden Dome, Trump savings accounts for newborn babies, and much more. Great job by Speaker Mike Johnson, House leadership, and thank you to every Republican who voted yes on this historic bill. Now it's time for our friends in the US Senate to get to work and send this bill to my desk as soon as possible. There is no time to waste. The Democrats have lost control of themselves and are aimlessly wandering around showing no confidence, grit or determination. They've forgotten their landslide loss in the presidential election and are warped in the past, hoping someday to revive open borders for the world's criminals to be able to pour into our country, men to be able to play in women's sports, and transgender for everybody. They don't realise that these things and so many more like them will never again happen. Yay. Go, Trump. Okay, Wendy Rogers said, whoops, no mulligan. Johnny Maga said the South African president brought white golfers with him to try to prove there's no systemic persecution of whites in South Africa. Golfer Retief Goosen then tells Trump that his dad's farmers' friends are being killed and farms are constantly being burned. So the South African president brought white golfers to back him up, and they didn't. Okay, let's listen to this. I'm just going to turn it down a little bit in case it's really loud.
I grew up in an area in South Africa that is a farmland area, Polokwane, and there is some issues up there. Obviously, my dad was a property developer as well as a part-time farmer, and yeah, some of these buddy farmers got killed. The farm is still going. My brothers run it, but it's a constant battle with farms they're trying to burn the farms down to chase you away. So it is a concern to try and make a living as a farmer. And at the end of the day, without farmers, there's no food on the plate. So we need the farmers to produce the food.
Farming, right? He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't even want to do what you're doing. Right? They love farming. They don't want to leave. But it's a struggle.
Yeah, and food and fresh water is the most important thing in life. Without those two things, you can't survive.
How is the water there?
The water is great. Obviously, all the water comes out of the borehole, out of ground for us down there. But yeah, it is a battle to get the water out sometimes when all the equipment gets stolen all the time that you're trying to get the water out.
So does your family and your brother, do they feel safe on the farm?
They live behind electric fences, try and be at night safe. But it is constant whenever you leave that something could happen. And
there's nowhere to live.
Both of them has been attacked in their houses. My mom's been attacked in her house when she was 80. So it is difficult.
There you go. They didn't back him up.
I grew up.
He bought them to back him up, but they didn't. Okay. Laura Loomis said, attention MAGA, why are we sending America First conservatives to Congress in 2026 to back President Trump's agenda? Seems like common sense, right? Well, it turns out common sense isn't so common in the swamp. Right now, as I type this, Congress is failing. Hang on, what's going on here, Laura? Is failing us. The Senate is packing up. The Senate is packing up to leave DC today while 91 of President Trump's nominees are stuck waiting for confirmation. This is disgraceful. If Speaker Thune had the guts, he'd keep the Senate in session and confirm all of 91 of Trump's nominees today. One man, President Trump, is working tirelessly in the White House while Congress runs home to twiddle their thumbs. This is why we're losing. Call Speaker Thune now on this number, 202-224-2321. Demand he stays in DC and get every Trump-appointed nominee confirmed. Let's make America great again. So they're running off. Where are they running to? Because they're not the only ones. Okay, Canada hasn't had a government. They haven't sat in their government for 100 and something days. Australia's about to do the same thing. What's going on? Why are all our governments just taking a lot of time off all of a sudden? Gnosis Wolf was replying to Mike Benz about the Harvard thing, obviously, okay? Virtually every centre, institute and department at Harvard is weaponised against this government and the people who voted for it. Why should this government and the people who voted for it have to fund that weaponisation? Gnosis Wolf said, what's this, Harvard? Working against conservative values? What, like racial equality? No way. Harvard professor argues for abolishing the white race. Harvard Magazine, abolish the white race. The Harvard Crimson, whiteness studies exploring privilege. Where's my privilege? I've been waiting for it for years. It just never turns up. I don't know where it is. Not there. Not anywhere I can see. Disrupting whiteness in the classroom. How white supremacy became part of nation's fabric. Monopolising whiteness. Whiteness as property. Whiteness, an ethnographic question. Treason to whiteness is loyalty to humanity. The dying of whiteness, white malice. I'm sick of this bullshit. Are you sick of the bullshit yet? I am. Let me tell you, I know for a fact in Australia at least, right? The people that lived here had not even invented the wheel, okay? By the time that the white Australians turned up, showed them how to farm and a new way to live. But hey, South Africa's going to find out the hard way. If they kill all the Boers, they're going to find out they can't feed themselves. Priti Patel, MP, said today Labor surrendered the Chagos Islands and imposed a $30 billion pound surrender tax on British taxpayers. We'll do all we can to oppose this dreadful deal. Keir Starmer and Calamity Lammy won't stand up for Britain, but Conservatives will. Will they? Sassafras 84 said maybe blackmailed. I don't know. She definitely wasn't the Conservative justice we wanted. A huge disappointment. What do you think? Do you believe Amy Coney Barrett is corrupt? Yeah, maybe blackmailed. I don't know. But she's not doing what she was supposed to do. Okay, Laura Loomer again. So many Conservatives took money to spew Palestinian propaganda. Now Jews are being shot in the head in the streets of America because so many podcasters sold out for a check from Islamists. I'm not on either side. Hope you're all proud of yourself for promoting the rabid Palestinian movement. Shameful. I won't promote the rabid Palestinian movement, and I won't promote Israel either. But apparently a lot of people have. Yes, Max Egan, who was an Australian truth teller way back, right, has joined in the Palestinian side. I'm like, you know, you don't have to take sides. Charlie Kirk said, oh, by the way, I think Wheezy had Max Egan on his show. So What is Truth podcast. I don't know if he's put it up on Rumble or if it was on YouTube or what it was on, but I'm pretty sure the What is Truth podcast, which is Wheezy's channel, had Max Egan on, and he tells you during that he supports Palestine. Charlie Kirk said, breaking, the FTC has launched an investigation into media matters. The Democrat-aligned propaganda arm over whether it colluded with advertisers to cut off revenue to conservative or pro-free speech entities. Good. Media Matters has every right to complain about what I say. They don't have the right to break antitrust laws to create a speech cartel and drive their enemies out of business. Regulators are investigating whether Media Matters colluded with advertisers against X and drove away all the advertisers, tried to make Elon Musk lose even more money. Julian's Rum said, pay close attention to how this event's being framed as both anti-Semitic and far left. The goal is to make MAGA conservatives like you and me side with Israel. Don't fall for it, side with America. I always have. This could also be to cover up the Boer, killing of the Boers. National Conservatives said extreme anti-white conspiracies promoted on the Oprah Winfrey Network. Morbidly obese black nationalist and Rutgers Africana Studies professor Brittany Cooper says white people literally make black people fat. How? It's not that your food has problems, is it? I don't know. Let's have a listen.
So I actually want us to hold up a little bit before we do this thing where we start blaming ourselves. Like, I hate when people talk about black women being obese. I hate it because it becomes a way to blame us for a set of conditions that we didn't create. We're moving, we're taking care of kids, but our food quality suffers. We are living in the Trump era. And look, those policies kill our people. You can't get access to good health care, good insurance. The research says that black women, when we do the same diets as white women, we lose less weight and we lose it slower, even when we're following the diet, than our white women counterparts. And what public health practitioners think is that our stress responses in the body change our metabolism. It's literally that the racism that you're experiencing and the struggle to make ends meet actually means the diet don't work for you the same. So I
think it's your food that's the problem, love. Sorry, but I think there's things in your food that America used to allow that they're putting an end to. It's not white people making you fat, love. Sorry to burst your little bubble there, but I don't know, exercise maybe? Julian's Rum said, as a MAGA conservative, there's really nothing more depressing than watching all these big MAGA influencers immediately go lockstep with the Israeli PSYOP. I never will. I'll speak the truth. Israel is not our friend. Okay? The Israeli people, fine. Their leaders, no. And the people that, call themselves Jewish but are not. It's in the Bible. There are people that call themselves Jewish that are not. Rothschilds. There is also people who call themselves Christian who are not. Obama, because he's a Muslim. But he used to say he was Christian, but he's not. David Atherton, one of the Conservative standout people, is Shadow Justice Minister Robert Jenrick. Here he rightly thinks with our prison overcrowding that they should be deported to finish their sentences. He heavily criticised the merry-go-round of appeals through our human rights laws. Guess which country? Could be any country, really. Merry-go-round of appeals. Because apparently the US they're trying to do that right now, the deep state are, trying to keep the people in prison so they don't let them out, so they don't get deported. It's crazy. Okay, another one. Conservative Shadow, Katie Lamb, MP, this is in the UK. Notes only firm action on immigration will get back the trust of the public. She said Afghans are 20 times more likely to be sex offenders. Over 70% of Somalis live in social housing. She concludes, until we face up to facts, we're done. That can go for every country again. Reddit lies. Let's go for some Reddit lies. Euroceder. I don't know what that is, but anyway. Can confirm as a German, I want nothing they have. Confirm as a Canadian, we don't want anything the US has. Federal tourist asks, so why are you using Reddit? Oh, federal tourist. Oh, hello. You've been permanently banned for participating in Reddit shit Americans say because your comment violates the community rules. You won't be able to post or comment, but you can still view and subscribe to it. For saying, so why are you using Reddit? Interesting, isn't it? Reddit's run by a bunch of lefties, mate. Reddit lies said we need to be more evil, the people who think they're the good guys. Reddit, it's full-on left-leaning site. We need this movement to be more venomous. They're apparently calling to action. This is a quote from them, not me saying this, YouTube. The pushback from mods and conservative Dems needs to stop. We need to fight for our country and communities or we won't have a democratic republic anymore. We need to get back into the streets and mobilise. I'm ready to go fisticuffs over our rights being taken away. Are you ready? I don't know what they're fighting for, do they? Reddit Lies said this is going to get someone killed. Bubbly Base said, thank you for the award. You know who you are. Don't want to get you in trouble given my post. So my post was removed but is still showing up. Just in case it's gone, to make it clear how little I care, I'm literally dying. I have no fucks to give. Here's the post I had made. I'm going to be getting banned anyway, so I'm going to say it. They're calling ICE the Gestapo. And they're calling, if they stop by your neighbourhood, and they're calling it abduction, and you don't take action, you're going to have to live with that. What the hell? This person is calling to stop them at all costs, to torch their vehicles, slit their tyres, create human shields. Hell, if they're wearing masks and don't ID themselves, open for what? Yeah, someone's going to get themselves killed. Or this person's going to get someone else killed. My God, people are insane. Okay, World Affairs said breaking. India said it will not take joint steps with BRICS countries, are against dollar supremacy. India rejects BRICS currency now. Wow. Anthony Albanese, it's a parody. A new flu vaccine is available for everyone who hasn't passed away yet from the last one. Okay. They're advertising it on 9 News now. Oh, look, it's that Kerry Chant. She was the health minister for Australia under COVID. She locked Australia down. This woman had... this woman... Cool handle, Luke. I won't tell you what I want to do. According to leading psychologists, a God complex isn't contagious, but here we have 3 dictating our future with disastrous results. Albanese, Andrews and Allen are proof. A God complex refers to a belief that one is superior, infallible, and entitled to special treatment or privileges, often associated with narcissistic personality disorder or mania. It's an inflated sense of self-importance and power. Yep. Anthony Albanese, that was Daniel Andrews who locked down Victoria and shot people with rubber bullets, and his police force actually killed someone by dumping them headfirst at a railway station. And this is the new Premier of Victoria, who's just as bad as the last Premier of Victoria. Professor Rogers speaks for the, Australian Professor King of the Cookers. Okay, a conspiracy theorist, because that's what they call cookers here in Australia. Conspiracy theorists, they call us cookers. Whoop-de-doo. As Australians face loss of life, property and livelihoods in New South Wales floods, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has reportedly requested his private chefs and the crew of his private jet to create new menus to keep his palate engaged. New South Wales floods, Coalition, Little Proud, McCormick and Mackenzie, National, Nats. And it's a private jet for him. He's off flying around. This is what Australia looks like. Sorry, the north coast of New South Wales looks like. I don't know. I believe there's other areas that are flooding. And isn't part of Australia in a drought? Isn't Victoria... Is South Australia in a drought at the moment? The Vigilant Fox said the safe and effective narrative just collapsed on camera, and I'm going to leave that for Rumble, which I will be doing. I haven't seen Timmy here yet. I will contact him privately and ask if he can come on his Sunday, my Monday. Okay, to talk about on Rumble about health issues and, something that he's come across as well. Looks promising. Tracy said, Anthony Albanese, if I'm Prime Minister, I won't go missing when the going gets tough or pose for photos and then disappear when there's a job to be done, which is exactly what he did. Yep, he was off holidaying around and now he's going on another holiday. He come back, had a photo op and now he's gone again. Yes, the southeast has had the lowest rainfall in history. They're wiping out the farmers. That sucks. I swear they're playing with it. Australian Integrity said, here's a hint, you'll own nothing and be happy. The Albanese Labor government is intentionally making homes completely unaffordable whilst giving tax haven discounts to BlackRock and other foreign institutional investors. Build to rent is also overloading builders' resources. And it is. If I go here and I type in realestate.com or for rent, okay? And say I go here and I say the Central West because that's where I found most of them. No, I don't want, Jesus Christ, I don't want Sydney Olympic Park. Search, get rid of that and go to Central Tablelands. There you go, Central Tablelands of New South Wales, okay? We want a house. Okay, any will do, right? Where they'll be at the last page. Hang on, what page are we on? Okay, we've got to go to the bottom to find them. Because no one rents them, so they're normally at the end. I wonder if they'll even show up for me today. I'm sure they will. They should, because there's a lot of them out there. The houses in the middle of nowhere, renting for over $1,000 per week. Okay, Huntley, $1,500 a week. I bet you it's fully furnished. It doesn't say. Does it say? Oh, yes, all linen, crockery and cutlery included. Okay, serviced weekly. That's a BlackRock. That's what it is. Let's see if we can find another one. You can find them. Oh, God love you, Shannon.
Shannon tipped $10. Late fee.
Thank you, Shannon. I appreciate that. You legend. Okay, let's see if we can find another one. Yeah, here we are. They are 5 and 6 bedroom houses. $1,500 per week. A 4-bedroom for $1,500 per week. Another one for $1,350 per week. Here we go. $3,000 per week in the middle of freaking nowhere. You're undery. It's a 7-bedroom, but like it's $3,000 a week. Okay, a 4-bedroom, $1,300. Oh, God love you, Deb.
Deb Richardson tipped $3.25. Hello Hev and Hevites. It been a while since this funny man talked, so hello to Hev's pussies. I hope it's not. Some oyster you are Hev, and I am betting Shannon in donation.
Oh, God love you, Deb, you legend. What do you say? You haven't heard this funny man's voice in a while? It's very moist where I am. Like the ground was there's puddles everywhere. And you're betting Shannon in donations. God love you guys. You guys are legends. Okay, we have another $3,000 a week one in Budgie, in the middle of nowhere. It's 10-bedroom. A 3-bedroom for $1,300 per week. 1,000. Look how many there are. 1,200. 1,000, 1,300. These are the BlackRock ones, I'm telling you. For a 3-bedroom, $1,400 per week. 1,100 per week. Oh, 500 at Canimbla. It's too much for me. But that's lovely. Oh, look, Canimbla Valley. Oh, so beautiful. Anyway, get out of there, Hev. Stop daydreaming. $1,400 for a 3-bedder per week. There's heaps of them. And you know, because they fully furnish them and then they service them. $1,645 for a 4-bedder per week. $1,200 per week. Crazy. Anyway, let's go back to the news. Just showing you. So you know that BlackRock is actually buying up all the houses to rent them back to you for a lot of money. Okay, Australian Patriots said thanks to another group for this, copied and pasted so as not to post links. Albo just gave Indonesia $168.5 million to be exact. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese announced a number of initiatives to build a security relationship, including $15 million over 4 years to enhance our maritime cooperation, including establishing an annual officials-level dialogue. Does it cost money to have a dialogue, does it, on maritime issues? Supporting the Indonesian military to commence training in the Northern Territory later this year. $3.5 million for clinical anti-malaria drug trial for the Indonesian military. Can't they use like hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin for that? Australia is committed to strengthening... I don't know, I'm asking a question, okay? YouTube, don't kill me. Australia is committed to strengthening our comprehensive strategic partnership and partnering with Indonesia on its domestic priorities to bolster regional stability and the health security of both countries, including $100 million to strengthen Indonesia's health system. You can't strengthen ours. Our hospitals are overflowing, mate. And its ability to prevent, detect and respond to human and animal infectious diseases. Is this part of the WHO's plan? Supporting Indonesian sovereign wealth? Oh, God, love.
Shannon tipped $5. Deb is full of it. I have made 3 donations today.
Have you, Shannon? God love you. You legend. Oh, God love you. Thank you. I appreciate that, guys. Okay. Where was I up to? Okay, for the health funds, right? All right, okay. And what? And a sovereign wealth fund, Danantara, to join the International Forum of Sovereign Wealth Funds and inviting it to conduct a roadshow in Australia. 500 million to the Fund for Green Infrastructure. Oh, my God, under the Australia-Indonesia Climate and Infrastructure Partnership, Kinetic, to incentivise investment in green infrastructure. I don't need to know anymore. Retards Down Under said, when are we getting the picture of Trump schooling Albanese in the Oval Office? I believe June, from what I've heard. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for Trump to have a talk to this man. A chat, you know. Rob Smith said Anthony Albanese inspecting the flood en route to Copacabana. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, dear God. Can I have a plane? Can I use your plane to fly to America, mate? Rob Smith said Albanese won't allow Parliament to sit for another 2 months. An unaccountable PM, lazy and out of his depth. What's going to happen in the next 2 months? We don't have democracy. The election was rigged. Labor needs to be held to account. Anthony Albanese slammed after release of post-election parliamentary sitting calendar, which shows they won't be sitting for another 2 months. Canada hasn't sat for 100 and how many days? And now they're going to shut down Congress instead of passing Trump's picks. Are they shutting down Congress as well? Something's happening. What's wrong with his wrist? Oh. Well done, Alex. What is wrong with his wrist? Did he break it? Or is he photoshopped? I don't know. Way to go, Alex. But something's going on with these governments not sitting. Could there be something going on? Could Australia possibly have no sitting government? Canada as well, really. No legit sitting government. And could the USA take over? Please, Trump, if you can hear this, please, please, please. Okay, anyway. Okay, and Albanese was missing while the floods were going on. And they didn't win your heart. They imported new voters, which we already know. Oh, and a young Anthony Albanese doing woodwork at school. How dangerous is he? Watch this. Holy shit. Good way to slice your wrist open, mate. Sorry, I can't play too much of it because hopefully that wasn't even... No, it was 7 seconds. 7 seconds away. YouTube. Just as long as I stay, I'll be waiting for the censorship. Anyway, this is Anthony Albanese and woodwork. I'm a girl, and I know that's not the way you do it. Oh dear. And yet we know Barack Obama's been mentioned at the Diddy trial. I'll do that one another day too. I'm going to finish that today. For the news for today, I won't be going on to Rumble today, but I will be on my Monday, possibly your Sunday. Okay, let's go back as far as I can. Okay. I can see out to lunch saying, Paul. Kai said, I'm trying to think of the bullet points and drawing a blank. I can only go so far back. Deb saying hello. Zal said, George, it may actually have a good outcome in stirring people to get off their asses. George said they will not feed off my soul. Yeah, me neither. And even if they voted the WHO back in, I don't care. I'm not complying. I didn't last time. I'm not going to this time. Doesn't matter what they say. In fact, I live a good life. I'm not a bad person, so I don't go and commit any crimes or anything, but I'm not listening to the government anymore. I'm doing my thing, right? J1 said, black, blackety black, get over it. Alex said, there are wrong uns in every race. Yeah, there are. There are. Like, I see a lot of women as well with degenerate behaviour in the white community, let me tell you right now, like the 538, I don't know, a woman in taking that many men in one day, I don't know. Even in a couple of months, 2 in a couple of months is a bit, I don't know. Just me, maybe. It's just me. Dell said, great replacement. London gone from 70% to 30% population in 30 years. More rapid change than 200 years of Vikings. Heathen army. War is coming. How you going, Dell? And J1, I didn't say hello to you either, did I? And D. Lee said, much love to you, Kai and Tony. Oh, Kai's going. Have a good one, Kai. That was ages ago. Alex said, yes, it's a brilliant camera. Eyes, yep. And Eyes is here, yep. Zal said, interesting they've stopped making those cameras. Yeah. George said, Eyes, when did you change your name? It was a while ago. Del said, Bieber was great by diddler than his sons. What kind of sick mind does that, and how did the state let him adopt 2 white 14-year-olds, eh? Yeah, exactly. Kai said, had to grab the phone back up to say, hurling insults, said, being a real American Indian, remembering when white Europe Christians came here and slaughtered us, find kill white is somewhat ironic. Paul said there's a clip of Adam Driver in a movie doing underage sex and calling it free pizza. Really? Kai said, drip, drip, flood would make a good title for a song about diarrhea. Del said, gaslighting is real. Rob your followers, stagnate your momentum on X since 2016 for me. Yeah, mine has also stagnated. You on X, are you, Del? Is it under the name Del Strain? Same name? Kai said, always the intellectual. And MRE dropped in. Hope you're out after being in hospital yesterday, MRE. Hope you're doing well. Zal said, Del, I'm noticing a lot of black folk waking and voicing their anger up to the disgusting mess being created by mostly blacks, thieving and doing all sorts of Yeah, look, black people have been calling other black people out for a long time. I used to watch a lady, lovely lady, call others out, and she was lovely. And it was good, and I always had fun listening to her. MRE said amen. Alex said, Anita, Pisquick, and I need a Pisquick. I just got it. Took me a minute there. I thought I was actually pronouncing a name, and then, what is it? Malexa Christ. That one's gone over my head. Jesus, King Jesus Christ saves souls. That's Eyes. Alex, I ordered one last year and paid for it via credit card to Amazon, but cancelled it for the debt I was in, but wish I hadn't cancelled it now. J1 said non-digital cameras are better. I've found low tech can be tampered with. Can't be tampered with. Sorry. I noticed this while filming surveillance drones. Yes, I don't like digital cameras. I'd rather. Same with TVs. Because it's shit. It is. It's shit. I like analogue phones. I like analogue cameras. I like analogue TVs. And can you call them analogue cars? Can I just say that I don't like digital cars either? I hate beeps and shh. It really bugs me. Really, really bugs me. And I've got a hair on my nose, one of my own. Where are you? Thank you. There it is. Get it later with a vacuum. Okay. It's probably gone on my shirt, actually, or back in my hair. MRE said, I did activism for years for the boa. Yep, cool, excellent. Save the boa, yep. That's what I reckon. They were there I thought, to teach them how to grow food and to, show them. But hey, if they want to kill them, and then good luck finding food. George said, is this Trump's press secretary? Yes, the little blonde lady was, yep. So I said, listening to how the media are trying to deny white farmers being killed in and I know. Yep. MRE said plasma door. Conchega said Kai. Oh, yep, no, okay. I won't read that. It's something about diarrhea. Dell said, MRE, all good, brother. It's 1 a.m. in Londinium. Hope you are feeling better and Rocco is cool. 12th Legion, always Senate to Republic loyal. Yep. Are you doing well? Good. Good to hear, MRE. Hurling Insults said, don't trust Bondi. Perfect skin, so tight. SN made of plastic. You never know. MRE said, I have so many in real life videos of me at my state house. Oh, good on you, MRE. Alex said, oh no, now you can't get them apparently, eyes. Dell said, SPQR hunting idiots for sport. Veni, Vidi, Vessi? Did I say that right? MRE said, advocate for the South African. Oh, there you go. Sal said, is he hitting himself again, Alex? Kai said, oh my God, I can't breathe. MRE said, amen, Dell. Deb said, hello, hurling insults. MRE said he has some cool flags. I'm good. George said, hi, Conchega, MRE and hurling. King Jesus Christ save souls says, what makes me laugh is people with Trump derangement syndrome thinks Trump's going to save them. No, he's part of Satan, but the Lord is using him. I don't agree, eyes, but everyone's got their own opinion. MRE said, George, hello. Dell said, MRE, the Boers are being eradicated. Unlike Palestine, it's never heard. Shambolic. Without them, SA would be cave dwelling. Well, that's how Australia would be if the white Australians didn't turn up. Kai said, I'm getting in trouble, but it's hilarious. Kai said, the mud flood. I don't know what you're talking about, but anyway. If it's toilet humour, I'm not going to read it. Kay said, Kai, 60 seconds, 60 minutes, 2 + 4 hours, invented by a Pope, I heard. MRE said, they sing songs about killing. I've heard them, MRE. I played them the other day of them chanting and singing about killing the Boers. Del said, I love this stream. You rock, Hev. More truth than normies can handle. Bravo, bravo. Whistles, Dixie. Oh, God, love you, Del. George said, the farmers in South Africa need to leave. Yeah, just leave it. Come to our countries and watch what happens. Watch from afar. Because Zimbabwe already did it. And they had to call the white people back. Come back, please. We need food. So I'm just saying what's happened in the past. Kai said, I've ruined all videos about mud floods. Del said, they killed farmers like Mugabe's country and famine came. Sick, just sick. Yes, they did, yep. Kai said, Trump put dude on the carpet for it too, yep. Yeah, embarrassed the hell out of that South African president, prime minister, whatever they are. George said, if they want to murder white farmers, South Africa will starve. Exactly. Del said, where's Michael Caine when you need him? Zulu, York's Drift. Alex said, my uncle is South African, now living in America for the past 30 years. That killing's been going on for years, but like everything else was hidden from the people. Alex, I know, because I got deja vu, because I heard about this like 10 years ago. And with a lot of other things too. I'm getting deja vu with a lot of news coming out going, I remember that from 10 years ago. I remember that from 12 years ago. I remember that from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. So all these things are coming back. That's what I mean. The people need to be shown. They can't be told. And that's what we're seeing. So whether certain people were taken out in 2017 or 18, we're going to be shown, okay, slowly, so that it doesn't cause the chaos or havoc that they're trying to cause. Because believe me, the deep state want us in civil war, okay? We cannot give it to them. We need to push back against our representatives and everything as much as we can, because it does change things. Okay, Del said, George, Zulu, sir, and there's thousands of them. Only told you to blow the bloody oars off. Kai said, found out, okay. Kai said, imagine, if you will, a room. J1 said, university's just a training camp for communism. Well, it is these days, isn't it? Kai said, a dark room, chains and... what? Viscera in walls and doors? Del said, I'm proud to be Scottish-Irish. I've no guilt on slavery. That has nothing to do with me or mine. The insane division caused by white liberals is white-hating racism. Yep. Kai said, and a child, 4 May 7. And Pitbull. Alex said, my name is Michael Payne and I'm a nosy neighbour from The Fast Show, George. Alex said, I used to love The Fast Show and Harry Enfield and chums. Kai said, video to be announced eventually. Oh, God love you, Kai. George said, this Labor government we have in the UK is anti-British. Yeah, Australian's anti-Australian. Our Australian government, yep. I don't think it matters which side anymore. J1 said, Major Painting was funny-ass movie. Major Pain? Is that what you were saying, J1? Major Painting was a funny-ass movie. I remember watching is it Major Pain? That was a funny movie. From memory. Del said, Palestine are pawn to Hamas, who are as bad as Israel. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've got to keep a war going, you know. Funding and, you know, money and laundering, and that's what I reckon. Oh, you did mean Pain. Oh, good. Sal said, Max Egan's always been a sellout. Mm-hmm. Kai said, it must be so much worse than anything before that no living witness will ever allow it again in the history of humankind. Yes. It will. It's going to be so much worse than anything that's ever happened that everyone who's alive right now will never allow this to happen again. Del said, stay calm and watch Romper Stomper. George said, Wheezy's a good bloke. He is. Conchega said all governments and courts were dissolved in 2008 due to the findings of the 1942 Clearfield Doctrines. All corporations, Canada was only ever a Dominion state. There you go. Well, it seems to be coming true, Conchega. We don't have a legit government, so, and they're shutting down for like a couple of months. What's going on? I have a funny feeling that we're going to be a part of the US. I don't know. Kai said it's soul-rending. You stop feeling or you'll end it. I'll tell you what it has done for me. Waking up has made me a little bit harder because I was a very, very big softie. A very big softie. So it's made me a bit hardened. But that's a good thing for me because I was too soft. Okay. Conchega said, Del, Musk was replaced with an actor. Alex said, I don't get involved. You're both big boys. It's a free speech chat, yes? Kai said, because you let it happen by not knowing. Well, we were born into it. Zal said the Aboriginal elders tried to get him to work with them a number of times. Each time he was a snake to deal with. Alex said, love Wheezy, George, yeah. Del said, so CIA introduced fast food to the hood and crack. See the irony, fat thin? Kai said, by having never imagined such a thing possible, it was dismissed offhand. Paul said, what, fatty? Dolores said, need to eat real food and stay away from doctor. Yeah, exactly. Real food. Don't buy fast food. Don't make your own as much as you can. Alex said it's the all-American diet. All food is whack and full of shite. Yeah, unless you buy, like, natural foods. I won't even buy any processed foods. I'm trying to make everything myself now. But, yeah, it's what they put in your food, I'd say. Deb said, put down the fork, our Dr. Timmy would say. Sal said, I hope Timmy's doing all right. He's probably on call or something, guys. Sal said, this black woman blaming whites for her obesity is seriously deluded. And at what point do other black people stand up and say this is BS? They have been, Sal. Believe me, they have been. Del said, the mud people and the Philistines, boy, crowd are justified. Flyby Stu said there's not worse than playing on a seesaw with with someone who's a lot bigger than you are. It's not fair, yeah. You can get thrown off the seesaw, mate. Out to lunch, said the Khazarian Mafia. Alex said, do you mean, Max, about the Aboriginals, Al? I think they're all snakes at this point. Del said, Django unhinged. Alex said, put the fork down. Kai said, this will eventually be revealed to be so horrible we will gladly starve rather than allow one more second of the evil about to be shown. Sal said, Alex, yes, it's a small community here in Australia. Deb said, our Dr. Timmy is so funny. He is, isn't he? Zal said, the level of insanity is being turned up at a bit. Yes, it is. And what did I say years ago? Anyone who was here years ago knows that I was saying the news is going to get absolutely insane. Like, it's going to get ridiculous until people realise. Kai said it's an evil act. Hang on. I can't read that word. Against evil, still evil. Is an evil act. Against evil, still evil. I don't know. Depends on how you take an eye for an eye. Alex said, for sure, Zal, the nutters are running the nut house. Perpetrated? Del said they are the left waff, sorry. And the new insane laws will drive people to be nuts. Calculated chaos, yep. That's why you just say no. No. I don't care if they lock me up. No. Okay, lock me up, I don't care, no. J1 said outdoor asylum. Out to lunch said inciting peace is bad, okay. Kai said time to go find some raw meat at the store. And Cheggy Owie said it's not a woman. Alex said, I'll never take any type of clot shot. No, thank you. And Deb J said, Alex. Del said, those three Aussie MPs look like they need their hard drives checked, bullied to school lunatics who despise real fellas. Yes, they are. Weak little communist men they are. And women. And a woman. Much love, Kai. Have a good one. Alex said all a bunch of cokeheads are out. Our MPs and PMs, yes. Del said be better off with a cardboard cutout of Chopper Reader's Victorian PM. You'd probably be better off with Chopper Reader's Victorian PM. That's how bad it is. Shannon said, whoops, I'm late, lost track of time watching The Rookie. Conchega said, Del, some would argue he had for scruples. George said, Starmer, Lord Ali, this Russian rent boy is snorting coke. Yeah, exactly. J1 said, Del strain chop chop IRL would be better. Chopper in real life, yeah. Alex said, flippin' heck, praying everyone is okay in parts of Australia, definitely messing with the weather. Yeah, I do believe they are. Kachega said, have yes, the southeast has had the lowest rainfall in history. They're wiping out the farmers. Del said, Conchega, great point, mate. He deal with Neville Bartros-style immigration. It would do less harm than... Yep. Deb J said, poor I know, the animals. Yep, definitely. Shannon said, just pay late fee on your link. Does it pop up? It should. That's the first. I don't think the first one did. It says that you tipped a $10 late fee, and then Deb tipped, and then you did. Is that right? Hang on. Get to the top. Yep, and then you did. Unless you tipped the other one. Did you tip Stripe? I'll have to check. Hang on a sec, guys. You did you? Was that you, Shannon, and Stripe? Thank you to whoever that was. Hang on. Transactions, I'll find out. Yep. Thank you, Shannon. I got it. Thank you. You hit the wrong link for it to pop up on screen. That was all. Okay. Dell said, Chop Chop, Ray, Chuck Bennett or Bill Longley, the Texan had more scruples from normal people, mate. Alex said, only if you hit the Streamlabs one, I think. Shannon? Yeah, God love you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. User legends, honestly. Concheca said, Deb J is an active war on the people and direct start for their genocide. They've been weather bombing the East for 3 years. They're weather manipulating tech being used as we speak. George said, no late fee, Shannon. You've been sent to the corner of the room. Alex said, there it is, Shannon. Dell said, putting on the boots and snapping on the braces. Skinhead running through the night. Skinhead looking for a fight. Is that out of Train Spotting or something, is it? Was that a Skinhead movie? I can't remember. Shannon said, I did both. God love you. Dell said, I'd rather live like a bushranger and build a cabin. Yeah, me too. I'd rather live in a tent. Shannon said, that house needs to be rented out to a bunch of Indians and there'd be no crockery, linen or any other fitting left after their lease is up. Exactly. J1 said, Dell, my grandfather ran the biggest sly grog shop in Brisbane during the war, lols, imported the first 39 Ford Sloppy into Australia just to run. Kachega said, Shannon, a skinhead, and running through the night looking for a fight? Sal said, never fear, Mr. Spear is here. Kai said, about to walk out the door, I dropped some naughty comment traps for Hev. Try not to read them. I'm trying not to. Not the toilet humour. Alex said, that one with the land for $400 per week looked nice. Is it shared? No, there's no shared in that one. So that'd be just for the house. There are some out there. I've got to look again, but I can't afford to move right now. I can't do anything. Dell said, superb, mate. Good on her, like the underbelly, Squissy, Taylor Day, Spirit, and Federals. They had Hassan, mate. Sal said, that's how they empty out the country of people, by letting BlackRock do that. Yeah. Then no one can afford to live here. Sherry said, have a good one, Kai. Oh, Sherry, how you going? Sal said, so Albo's giving Indonesia the keys to invading Australia, apparently. Dell said, J1, good on him. Sorry, was thinking of the woman in Sydney from then when typing, lol, good on him. J1 said, yeah, Dell, yeah, always getting raided, never got convicted, was big news back in the day. Alex said, naughty boy. Kai. Yep, awesome, Shannon, said Alex. J1 said, Dell, you're probably thinking of Tilly and the Razor Gang. Shannon said, 1776 on Stripe, yes. 10 USD on Streamlabs and another 5 to shame Debs, lol. Oh, God love you. Dell said, J1, also the Jacks bent as bananas. Don't know my crime that far up. We know Melbourne and Sydney story, Freeman to Keynes to Chop, etc. COVID, I did degree in Aussie crime. J1 said, look up Tilly's bodyguard and you'll have my last name. Kachega said, J1, my old man and his mates were selling cigarettes and silk stockings during the Second World War. They got them from the Yanks. Dell said, J1, Tilly Devine, that was it. And her Ponce fella Jack, Underbelly one was best awesome series. Alex said, what's up with Albo's wrist on the plane? Too much wanking. Probably. Deb said, flight from Adelaide to America now. Yep, Shannon's even said wanker's wrist. Alex said, maybe it's AI. Joanne Nelson, AI. It's not Albo. That's what I was thinking. Yep, he's been playing with himself. Joanne said, Albo in little room now. Yeah, maybe they're only allowed out to Make it look like they're out and about. Conchega said, Alex, maybe the reptile is trying to sneak out of his skin suit. You never know. Alex said, George, I think they all do. Shannon said, like tennis elbow for dickheads. Joanne said, it looks like this, Hev. We have no sitting poly. I know, I don't think we do. That's why I think we may be following a little bit behind Canada or, you know. Well, it's getting interesting. That's why I said exciting news, because I think that's exciting that our government are not sitting in Parliament at all. Don't ask me why. Because I think something else is going on, that's why. Oh, my stomach's growling like, oh, you wouldn't believe. Oh, I felt that one. Del said, gotcha, lol, good name, mate. J1, Scottish. Kachega said, Shannon, one would need a penis for that. She hasn't got one. Who are we talking about here? Joanne says, he does things upside down. Yep, dingbat. Alex said, love the Benny Hill track, very fitting for Albo. Exactly. Someone told me it was hate speech, Hev. Oh, where am I? I'm way back. It jumped again on me. Hang on. I saw that, Shannon. Okay, where was I up to? Around here. Shannon said, that's hate speech, Hev. There you go. Deb said, I'm just baiting you, Shannon. Del said, that's the generation to fight Russians. Alex said, and he's PM of Australia. Randy said, yes, they're dissolving the Commonwealth. Yeah. I hope Australia becomes another state of America. George said, Benny Hill would not be allowed today, Alex. Definitely. No, actually, he would be. The degenerate behaviour, yeah. Deb said, retard. Shannon said, Hev is cyberbullying, lol. Poor elbow cut off at the elbow explains the wonky wrist in the photo. Alex said, no, definitely not, George. Del said the obese black woman was doing cake speech. Great freaking stream, man. Resistance is fertile. Kachega said, Randy, already happened. The corporate gov was dissolved in 2023. Shannon said, not just me, Deb, you're officially... I saw that one before I read it. A debater, but a mass one. Okay. Deb said, I bet Alba has a mask on and someone else playing. Del said, Del Strain, comedian Hev. Okay. I'll look you up on X. George, I've got my X links underneath. If you follow me, I can follow you, Del. George said, us men need to do... Oh, okay. You need to release yourself every now and then, otherwise you get blue balls. They hurt, apparently. That's how I've heard. Okay. Alex said, sending love and God bless you, MRE. Yep, definitely. Conchega said, Deb, bingo, same for P. Mutton Dutton. J1 said, Yowie, yeah, the Yanks were the best customers at the tea house. Del said, people in poverty are all thin, not fat. That's not being horrible, just observant. Alex said, it's an old tannoy joke I heard years ago. Someone did loads of them in the airport. My legs are crossed. Oh, my legs are crossed. Thank you, Alex. I couldn't get it. I'm like, I can't even attempt that now. Del said, digital photos can be white. Remember, we all had albums or shoeboxes full of snaps, even in the 90s. I have a bag full of photo albums. Shannon said, Hev's been doing lines, note to vacuum, surface first. Lol, what? I don't do lines. Deb said, it's very easy to get run over by electric cars. Yeah, especially if they're trying to avoid an accident on the road, I heard. Some of them will mount the pavement to avoid a crash and hit the pedestrians instead. Conchega said, Alex, good one was to ring the bar and get the barmaid to ask, has anyone seen Mr. Mike Hunt? I had to separate that one, okay? Shannon said, stealth killers EVs, the number one choice for all ninja cars. Alex said, he's with Bend Over, Conchega. Yeah, Mr. Mike is, yeah. Mr. Hunt, sorry. Shannon said, I've never seen a Ninja in an EV car. See how well they work? Never heard of it either. Yes, Deb, toilet humour. I won't read it out. I don't want to read about things like that. Shannon said, pleased to meet you, Ben. Conchega says, see you peeps. I've had 90-kilometre winds coming today. Going to do a yard search for potential flying debris. Conchega, we've had some strong winds. I thought my gazebo was going to blow away, but luckily it's held down by something else. I'll have to take a photo of it to show you guys. Yeah, Alex, you guys can laugh in the comments. I just won't read them out. No, the toilet humour ones, you know. Deb said, yes, thank you. I have deja vu too, Hev. Yeah, a lot of the stories I'm reading are like repeat. It's repeat. I've heard it before. Alex is sending you love and prayers. Conchega, hope you stay safe. Del said my mate was in Durban from 87 to 2002 when he shot a burglar. Had to leave as no charge, but was a red flag target, been going on since then. Sal said there's a reason it's all softly waking up the sleepers, because the collective inertia of the power of our minds is very powerful. That's why they've got to be careful with the narratives. I believe so. George said war makes money for the elites. Yep. Del said Paul Hogan was excellent. Alex said, is that a song, Major Pain? No, Major Pain is a movie. A funny movie. Sal said all the people you see on camera these days are actors in masks. George said Paul Hogan is a funny bloke. Sal said, Hev, the shift is literally going to take place, hence no governments. There'll be a worldwide lockdown. It will start from there. Deb said, I prefer a real movie, not the shit they're putting on at the moment. Sherry said, me too, Hev. I've always been very shy and let folks run all over me. Not anymore. Exactly. I've always, I've been like, I was always a shy kid. And when I grew up, I kind of let people get away with shit they shouldn't have. I shouldn't have let them get away with. And now, fuck that. No. Del said it's a war of attrition. Got to get militant black flag the globalists. George said, same with a lot of music, Deb. You know what I was listening to the other day? You know all the old 90s boppy musics, like, what do you call it? This is the rhythm of the night, oh yeah. And the other one was KLF, and all them. I was just, I don't know, cruising. When was it? Yesterday. Yesterday after I did the video, I turned on some music and just potted around doing, you know, a little cleaning shit here and there, while the music was going. Oh, yeah, Moo Moo Land, yep. All bound for Moo Moo Land. Hey, what was that, Shannon? Okay, anyway. Yeah, it was a good old, you know, going back to the 90s. Okay. Dealey said, Sherry, me too, but not anymore. Yeah, exactly. J1 said, Deb, only watch old westerns these days. Zal said, it'll be liberation out of this realm after 8,000 years of oppression. That would not surprise me. Deb said, me too, Hev, Sherry and Alex, yep. Del said, steroids in the meat, also chicken with us. Arsenic man in UK when proposed people went, you bets. Alex said, I love making my own fake away. I know exactly what has gone in it now. The next thing I need to add to my kitchen is a meat grinder, as mince these days can be pretty shady. Yeah, I got one of them. You can buy your own steaks and just grind it up. I've got a bench one. You know, the ones that attach to your bench? Yeah, that one. Alex said, we'll never be walked over again. Yes, no, we won't be. George said, I do love the music Alex post on YouTube. I was listening to Alex reggae mix, the other night. I haven't been getting notifications. Okay, I'm going to have to check that out. Shannon said, yes, that grinder app just doesn't cut it, but you can find a lot of meat with it. Shannon, good on ya. We're talking about an actual grinder, you know, the meat grinder. Alex said, everything is a learning curve, though, and I don't regret anything, just learn from mistakes, yes. George said, mix. Alex said, oh, I'm glad you like it. I need inspiration to make some more. George? Yep, Alex is laughing at Shannon. Deb said, Chopper Reed was a good bloke, still better than the shit we got right now. Like, I honestly reckon he would do better than Albanese. And that's scary, but I still think he would. Shannon said, Stripe doesn't show up. No, Stripe doesn't show up. Only if you tell me to look, I can go and look. But it's the Streamlabs link that shows up. So George said, plenty of good reggae music out there. I'm just checking. Okay. Oh, I want to check something else actually while I'm here. Because the crypto went up and then it went back down again. It's going down again. Okay, it's on its way down again. It's all right. George said, plenty of good reggae music out there, Alex. Alex said, they end up forcing people to leave their land when they refuse to sell. It's despicable. Probably to make way for 15-minute cities, definitely. Shannon said, it's cold in this corner. Nope, it's 90 degrees and my stomach is rumbling. I'm going to have to go in a minute. Sherry said, I like reggae, George. I have a lot of Bob Marley CDs. You know what I like? Saxophone music. I don't know why. I love it. And reggae. I like all different types of music. Really. I can listen to music like, you say this guy's in love with you. You know, the really old. I love that too. Anyway. As well as the boppy 90s and then the indie or alternative 90s. Love it. Love it. I miss the 90s. Deb said, Shannon has definitely donated more than me. Shannon, you legend. George said, Bob Marley's a legend. Deb said, I love it when you get Hev to say funny things. Yeah, I'm trying not to. Sherry said, I think Bob Marley was a good guy. Too bad he didn't last long, probably because he was a good guy. Yeah, the 27 Club. Was he? Was he part of the 27 Club? No. Maybe. Of stars who died when they were 27, like Amy Winehouse and a lot of them. Or do they actually die? Do they just want out? Away from the public life? Maybe. George said, I love UB40 as well, Sherry. Dolores said, Alex, my hubby bought a meat grinder for me for my birthday. Well done, Dolores. And how you going? Oh, shit, jumped again. Okay, where am I up to now? Oh my God, I'm way back again. Okay. Oh, here we are. I just got a twitch in my eye. Deb said, successful, Shannon. And Shannon went tick. Deb J said, I'm out, guys. Have a good one, Deb. Alex said, so relaxing, lots of truth in Bob Marley music. Sherry said, UB40 is good as well, George. And Deb said, much love, my beautiful twin Deb. Alex said, that's awesome. I recently followed a new cooking channel and he makes everything from scratch. So inspiring, Dolores. Yeah. Alex said, take care, God bless, and see you soon, Deb J. Del said, I've got relatives in Adelaide. I'd love to go to Australia, but I doubt I'd get in with my misspent youth and adulthood. If I got in, I'd go chop Chop's grave before my family and leave a tinny on the grave. Oh, God love you, Del. Sherry said, yeah, Alex, when I'm feeling down, I put on Bob Marley. It makes me feel a lot better. Yeah, that's what the 90s music does for me. Del said, the Clash saw them at 10. They told us all this then. Deb said, I got an air fryer for Mother's Day, so I can now make hash browns in minutes while watching Hev. Good stuff. Alex said, shame they had to kill him off like so many others and try and uncover the truth, Sherry. Del said, Deb, sausages also, 10 minutes, superb, yum. George said, the Clash are a brilliant band as well, Del. Alex said, that's awesome, Del. They'll always find a way to silence the truth, but not for long. Shannon said, more toilet humour. Well done, Alex. What? Alex said, truth will prevail. Alex is laughing at me, saying, Mr. Mike. Del said, George, saw them 3 times, mate. Also met Mick Jones, smoked a J when he was in a band in Glasgow. Apollo got guest listed. I saw Damned, SLF, Skids, exploited hundreds from the Sham 69 to the Progs £3. Deb said, I've never had a problem with Blue Ball. No, you wouldn't have, no. Everyone's laughing, and Alex said, love you, Hev. You too, Alex. Shannon said, Hev's going to take a picture of her gazebo, and she says we are rude with toilet. What? What's a gazebo got to do with... Shannon, I don't know. And it says we are rude with mere toilet humour. I don't know. A gazebo is just a gazebo. That's not toilet humour. George said, Mick Jones is a legend, smoking a J with him. Nice one, mate. Deb said, a man said the wind nearly blew my roof off. Thank God my wife was holding it down. Oh, yep. Shannon said, moo moo land. Deb said, the world's a stage and we're merely players. Yeah, Alex tuned Rhythm of the Night. The night. Oh, yeah. And everybody dance now. You know, that sort of stuff. Oh, dear. Yeah, Deb said, the world's a stage and we're merely players. Hello? Alex said, tune, Rhythm of the Night, yep. George said, I remember the Rhythm of the Night, Hev, lol, yep. Shannon said, Hev knows singing. Alex said, I love listening to music while doing chores. It makes it much... It does, doesn't it? Shannon said, now we only have to make her cry to get the trifecta. George said, I love old school music. You can try. Shannon said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Yeah, meatloaf. Deb said, yeah, the truck carrying wind turbine crashed and took out a few homes. Really? Alex said, yeah, can't beat it. It's why I make my own now as the music is so demonic. Paranormal Oz, hey, going? Watching the replay. God love ya. Deb said, wood chipper got work too. Wood chipper work got too. Shannon said, g'day, paranormal. Deb said, sorry, meat grinder works too. What are you talking about there, Deb? Shannon said, geez, you dropped the ball on that one, autocorrect. Del said, I saw Misty and Root, Steel Pulse and Inner Kamosi. The Clash turned white punks into reggae, but my parents were stoners, saw Marley in 81, so grew up with it. There you go. George said, yeah, Alex, all the music you post has a lot of spiritual themes to them. Alex said, I'll have to make you a saxophone mix, Hev. Yeah. J1 said, buy the dip, Hev. Huh? Buy what dip? I've got dip. I can make dip. To go with crackers. You mean buy in the dip? Deb said, mean stripe. What's stripe? Now I'm just getting confused. What's going on? I'm just checking. Yep. Yeah, I've got the stripe, yep. Okay. Alex said, any type of saxophone that you would prefer? I need ideas. I didn't know there were different types. George said, I'd love to learn how to play the sax. Del said, Big Youth, Dreadlock, Dread and Inner Kamosi Statement, excellent albums. Here come the hot stepper. Is that the one? Turn her up. I'm the lyrical gangster. Turn her up. Excuse me, Mr. Officer. Turn her up. Still love you like that. Shadow said, step 1, don't suck. Oh, on the sax. No, you shouldn't do that. No. Del said, Max Romeo chased the devil. Alex said, I learned sax a bit. I used to teach myself to play every instrument, but only had lessons for piano. Wow. Shannon said, you get that on Windows. Deb said, they're all over the ice wall. I don't know what we're talking about here. Del said, Marley murdered by his toe. Toe cancer from an ingrown toenail. Was poisoned as too much influence, I believe so. Yep. I'd believe that over he died over a toenail. Shannon said, Alex likes to tickle the ivory keys. On the piano, that means. Shannon said, lesson 2, Windows, practice. I'm not reading that one. George said, yeah, I heard he got cancer in his foot from a football injury. Alex said, when I sort my spare room, I'm going to set myself up a music studio. I've been on a 10-hour cleaning spree today, so hopefully it won't be too long. Deb said, oh, my God, Shannon, I'm trying to drink my coffee. J1 said, Trump just posted about XRP and being the dominant force and keeping it that way. Okie dokie, hang on a minute. XRP, Trump, what did he say? Trump, American cryptos like XRP will be owned by the USA, not China, and we will make sure they succeed. There you go. XRP documented as a utility coin and cryptocurrency with an actual use case. Okay, very good. Hang on to it. If you've got it, hang on to it. Pretty windy out. Not too bad at the moment. It was worse last night. I was laying in bed going, don't any trees fall on me, please. Don't. Hearing things hitting the roof all night long. The wind shook me all night long. Okay, anyway. Go off on my little singing tangents here and there. Where I was up to. Alex said Shannon can make a joke out of anything. He can. Deb said it's so good being together. Shannon said gazebo's like a caboose. Ah, aye, your bum. Is it? Oh, okay. Never heard of it. I know a gazebo is a little shelter thing, you know. George said I need it. I'm not going to read that. Joanne said, thank you so much, Hev, and all for making my day. Cheers and smile up. God love you. Thank you, Joanne, for joining us. Alex said, I try and make it as spiritual and positive as possible. Deb said, I love this chat. Shannon said, keep up, Hev. Maybe she's been sniffing too much hair and the product in it is having a bad reaction. Alex said, would you like the saxophone music more jazzy or poppy? Probably jazzy. Jim Gordon said, how you going, Jim? Check stick figure for modern white boy reggae. Very positive and uplifting. Really? Beautiful. Ah, J1 said crypto dip by the blood. Yeah, I might be able to. Oh, Deb said I was saying, like, put a zebra in is a good way to say someone has donated. Yes, it is, because I know what that means straight away, Deb. I even went and checked just in case. Yeah, if you do it on Stripe, put a zebra in there. That way I'll know. Del said, that's the one, Hev. All that 90s stuff is rave music. It went mainstream 6 months later, all number one, all ones raves. Shadow said, zebra doesn't matter if you're black or white. Exactly. Jim said, hey, Deb, usually listening, but my foot wants to jump in when I open my mouth. I do that too, don't worry. On screen too. So, don't feel bad, Jim. Shanna said, yep, put shit in it. J1 said, Jim, I have that problem as well. So do I. And George said, lol, Hev. Alex said, cool, I'll have a go. And Jim said, J1, lol. And with that, guys, I'm going to go. I'll probably have tomorrow off because I've been having a little bit of problems this week with stomach issue, and I think I know what it is. But anyway, I still cleaned. I still did my spring clean in autumn, and I'll be doing it again in spring again. Every 6 months. So anyway, it's a good reason to do it, I suppose. I used to do it once a year, but now I've got to do it every 6 months, so well, makes it easier, I suppose. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave you with that rubbish, and I shall see you in a couple of days. Your Sunday If you're in the UK or the US, my Monday here in Australia. Okay, have a good one, guys. Bye.